Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to AusNZ 4K Mania Tournament 2025, and we're finally back with a little bit of a few streaks of matches going forward. Here is going to be Gamtor Games versus Willow. I'm Mipha. I'll be joining here with staynoidedd. How's it going?
How are you going?
Hey, I'm doing pretty much stays on that. It's pretty fantastic, and got a little bit of a, like I said, we got a bit of a streak of matches going forward. I believe that we are going to see what Gamtor Games and Willow has in store for us, especially. What do you think about this matchup in particular?
I think this is going to be a really exciting match. As stated before, Willow is really good at these sort of early game kind of rice charts, but Gamtor Games has been pushing a lot recently and really just showed and expressed their skills. So this winner's bracket is going to be really interesting, and hopefully it goes to tiebreaker as we wish with all maps to go. But yeah, I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, we saw quite a little bit of a few tiebreakers. Even like in the last round, we got a one tiebreaker, and then this one, we also had a tiebreaker previously. But maybe we got a little bit of a tiebreaker streak going on. We have a few, maybe, hopefully, we get to see on this particular matchup. Maybe on the next next matchup that I'm particularly keen on looking forward to.
Yes, definitely. There's been I believe it was, which one was it that went to tiebreaker? I did commentator, and now it's just completely evaded me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it was Anthony Edwards and Totally Not Nick who went to a real nail biter. As I was commenting it, they were just like, they picked their own maps and then they lost it, and then they kept trading their own maps that they picked. It was really interesting to see the tournament nerves really just into effect and showing there. But
Yeah.
with this one, I feel like Willow has been very consistent, a little bit weak on the LNs, but their rice is really nothing to scoff at. So it is really a terms of consistency and tournament nervousness for this particular match.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes it just happens. You just happen to underperform like pretty badly, and when it could actually cost you some few picks, but it really just kind of unpredictable on whether or not you seem to have some up and downs in some particular match. I guess in particular picks, but I mean, I guess tournament it's just how the way it works. Really, you just don't know unless you can actually perform like 100% of all across the matches.
Certainly, and we're going into here with our winners bracket. So the player who loses this match will be knocked down to the losers bracket, and the winner will proceed forward into the top 4 position. So this really is kind of a win it or lose it situation, but no real high stakes here. You just want this to get the good finish. We'll be starting in a bit. I think we've already done our warm-ups. I'm not too sure though.
I mean, just by looking at given the particular skill sets for both of these, I'm kind of unsure what to expect out of the protection bands later on. I would assume that they would just go with maybe just leaving out SVs in the open, unless they, if I'm not mistaken, is that the SV are just kind of leaving out there just for good measure. Maybe someone is probably practicing quite a lot, and then maybe the other will probably counter that.
Yeah, we've seen in previous matches this weekend that a lot of players have banned it, or if it's been protected, it's very obvious that only one player has really practiced the SV. So maybe a lot of players opting to just not practice it and try and go for a ban, or just tank the point in order to try and win. But yeah, we'll really see. With Willow, I feel like she can really outperform on especially these type of rice picks. If you're looking for consistency, Rice 2 would probably be her protect, if I'm going to be honest. And Gamtor Games maybe saw the match that Willow did last weekend and noticed that, you know, a little bit lacking on the LN consistency, so could try and go with that to try and get a little bit of the uppercut here. But as we go into the, oh my god, that's a Tycho chart for the warm-up.
Right. Oh, I mean, it's not Tycho. I mean, it's still by Renos, which is also like a prolific media charter for 4 keepers. But I mean, I guess you can kind of it's pretty much on a dot. It's just accuracy, and it's just all chords and everything. It can kind of show that the ratio difference might be kind of a telling sign in some cases, but I'm not I'm not buying into that kind of thing because it's really just the map pool itself is a little bit more complex than what just straight up chords, really.
Exactly, and now we do have the chat working now. It was just a little bit of technical difficulties, but we go in here, the warm-up finish, and now we go into the protects and bans, where Willow Rots are one.
Nearly one off from the other thing, or it's just a funny one.
We don't talk about that. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about that. We don't we don't want to speak about that either. So. I mean, I think that given that Gamtor is winning the role, so he's gonna get the protect, which I'm kind of interested to see if they're one of it is gonna be a Rice protect and then an LN ban from Gamtor Games. Seems like.
Yes, if he's practiced the SV, he could go for the SV protect, but an LN ban or Rice ban, it really is the ball in this court right now. And he goes with Birdbrain, the coordination pick, maybe not comfortable in the more slower technical kind of release picks that Birdbrain provides.
Oh, it seems like Gamtor protecting Birdbrain, which is an LN1. Kinda...
Oh, wait.
I don't know.
I thought he was banning it, that's my bad. Yeah, so opposite of what I just said. Yeah, he's opting to protect it to try the coordination.
Oh, there you go.
There we are. There it goes. But that's not his. That's not her protect. Yep, that's exactly what I thought. Protecting Rice too. That consistency pick.
I'm kind of interested to see if the Gamtor Games want to ban LN2, or I guess the LN density-esque picks seems like not to be in their favor even.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I do think that Gamtor will try and ban another simple Rice chart just to get another point off of Willow, who's really good at these early Rice charts. We'll just see here what they are deciding to ban, but yeah, I would assume that they're going to try and lean in a bit more to these LNs, and there we are, Rice 1 ban.
Okay. Oh, wait, no, they retracted that.
Okay.
They retracted that statement, so no, just banning based on song vibes, okay? I mean,
okay.
Something is fair. Something is fair to ban, I feel.
Yeah, I would have guessed, but Rice for another simple map, maybe not too confident. It is Jack focused, but still can trip you up, but yeah, I do assume that, yep, LN3. Going straight into it, knowing Willow's weakness with these kind of shieldy patterns and really awkward timings for release. So I would say a really strong start for Gamtor Games, which puts Willow on the bit of a back end, but we will see how this point will go.
Like we saw in the previous match, we just saw they had a couple of struggles in terms of accuracy on like you said, like shieldy patterns, even some of this semi-inverse that are just awkward to time. Even with the BPM that is not that fast, even with OD7, it's still kind of punishing on you if you're actually just kind of mistiming it in particular. Even with the shield, which are just not particularly favorable if you are not really good at timing those.
Yeah, really, it's a bit of a matchup here. As we go into the LN3, made by our very own Australian mapper, Oct4. So shout out to Oct. We just get into it, and this is quite a bit of an abrupt start here, as we can see that some 200s have already been traded by both players, but both remaining relatively high AC, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, but it's still got a little bit of a rather shakier intro after this. Even like I think that the shields kind of get into it, which is just releasing kind of all over the place, even with the error bar like that. And now Willow is actually taking a hit as well. This is now getting blow for blow.
Yeah, but with Gamtor Games stabilizing a bit more. Oh, and a miss, 2 misses I think from Willow. With Gamtor Games stabilizing a bit more, it really goes to show that this was the right pick to go, as Willow's just struggling with these shields and really showing her weakness when it comes to these LNs.
not looking very good on even just trading like 4 or 5 misses across like 99% FC, that is.
Yes, but he's still getting higher and higher in the accuracy, approaching 99.1, but it still could be in the court as we approach halfway here. If we see a disastrous chain miss from Gamtor Games,
Oh,
just
there he
like
goes.
that one there. The commentator cuts alive and well is, but
Getting caught in the crossfire with that awkward middle section.
yeah, but was also traded by Willow, and another one miss right there, kind of sealing the fate. So yeah, I would say a confident and comfortable start from Gamtor Games, showing a 99 here, which we really haven't seen when Group B players pick this chart. So really impressive stuff. So you really want to look out for Gamtor Games here. As we just keep going in, both holding relatively good combo. Willow stabilizing a bit more, but just a bit too late. And as I say that, they crumble again.
Yeah, this outro is a little bit harder than the rest, which I would not blame them for maybe having more costly mistakes like that. But still fairly strong, even for a Group B matchup. With Gamtor Games, still like a 99, even stabilizing even further with that outro.
Yeah, stabilizing even further. Now cracking 99.1, an extremely dominant showing from Gamtor Games here, as Willow struggles to get a 98, but that will be the first point towards Gamtor Games.
Yeah, it's pretty much in the clear, I guess, for LNs. Although I wouldn't noticeably say that LN2 is safe either. It's just that it's just without the awkward pattern which Assault Taxi does have.
Yes, definitely. But as we go into Willow's pick now, I assume she'll go maybe straight into her Protect to try and just get the point back. We'll see, but definitely within the realm of category in Rice, and there we are, okay, Rice to be picked.
Protect incoming for Willow. This is just pretty much what it says on the tin. You really just want to get the, just really get into sharpshooting as much as possible.
Certainly, and this consistency pick, the easiest chart on the map pool of this week, but it's still quite fast, but just not particularly dense. So a trip up maybe from Willow is possible here, but it's not their Protect for no reason, as they will immediately pick it to try and claw back and even the score out.
Yeah, whether or not they are in the mood for just to not having too many drops everywhere, this should be a fairly confident pick, that is.
Exactly, but we need to see what Gamtor Games is capable of. Do they have that ratio in them? All will be told at this match, but we just get into here relatively chill, but it doesn't let up the moment the jump streams start flying in.
I think the only notable section, which is that idea, I guess the first half is kind of continuous to a point, and then once you get to a break, the pattern stays the same throughout. It's just whether or not you get the composure back into it.
Yeah, exactly, and towards the midway point, a bit of a jump trill that could mess you up. Hasn't messed up any players so far in this weekend that have played this, but you know, first time maybe. But both of these players showing extremely dominant accuracy, but Willow's still holding an extremely comfortable 99.90, while Gamtor Games behind, but not too behind, with a 99.86.
It's still like within a 3-digit lead, but I would just assume that once we get into like before we reach through the break, it just gonna show whether or not they are dominant enough to take like a 4-digit figures, really.
My thoughts exactly, as one great here could spell the end for any of these players. That's how close the margin is, as both players hit the jump trill quite well, but Willow hitting it a bit more well, as Gamtor Games struggled a bit, dropping a bit of perfects.
Yeah, I think Gamtor hit the jump trill transition a little bit too late, which kind of cost us the rainbows in there.
Yeah, definitely. And as we continue, as you said before, this really shows after the break who really is going to win this match as we extend the lead to the 4 digits. But a great from Willow will tie the score.
That's a 100. That's a 100 even.
Wow, that will score, but is it enough? As we just no,
Oh,
that seals the deal.
that undid the progress of Gamtor Games pulling him back in, but apparently Willow managed to clutches it out, and apparently that's a 100 and a 200 even. That's nasty.
Really, really impressive. 55 perfects though is nothing to scoff at, despite the 200 and 100. But that evens out the scoreboard 1-1. This is looking to be an extremely exciting match.
It would have been sketchy if it was like just 50 or something along those lines, but apparently Gamtra did miss, which it didn't really do much for Gamtra because it's not their pick, but it's still definitely one way to make to steal that point even.
Definitely, and as Gamtor also copying Willow, going for his own protect with Birdbrain LN1, noticing how Willow's struggling with those a bit more release and hand coordination timing LNs, opting to go for another map like that with Fevrex's Birdbrain.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I would think that given that conflict performance by Willow wasn't as good as it could have been, but I think this would be a test whether or not their coordination is on point rather than just straight up hybrid-ish density wildcard esque category, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And the second LN picked of this match, Gamtor really banking in on the weakness of Willow, which is proving so far to be correct. But as you said before, this is a coordination pick, and a lot of players have missed before on this. So I've commentated some matches before, and even like the top 4 seeds, you know, they can still be prone to the finickiness of this chart.
Yeah, I guess most prolific, even on the best of the LN release players, can't do it just consistently enough because of how slow it is.
Definitely, but a strong start from Willow with a 99.7 and a low 99 from Gamtor Games. It may backfire a bit for Gamtor Games, but it is early days. It's just still not looking too good, as Willow seems to be kind of solidifying and locking in on this LN, which I really wouldn't have expected from her.
Well, I guess not anymore
okay.
now.
Okay, I just had to open my mouth, didn't I? Yeah, a lot of chain misses there. The right hand really just proving a bit too much for Willow right there, as Gamtor Games gets really comfortable with this low AC FC, but it still doesn't matter too much because just of how much Willow has missed.
I mean, if you get the combo, you pretty much just basically get the game going. But Willow, it's shown time and time, they have few misses on their end. Even that accuracy might not be struggling so much, even with that accuracy. Like as you would expect from Gamtra, he's still holding a full combo, which is great. Accuracy might still probably just inching around just the 99s, even lower ones even.
Yeah, even though these accuracies are only 0.5% behind, it is still a score of 35,000. Really not much Willow can do here unless Gamtor Games just kind of drops the ball immediately here and Willow gains some consistency back that we saw from her Rice, but you know, convert into the LNs just to try and hold on to the combo. She does claw back the X, so if Gamtor Games does miss, it could be in the realms for a comeback, but as we see it, it's looking smooth for Gamtor, and another miss from Willow, kind of sealing the deal.
Pretty much running out of time here, just getting the lead over. But yeah, I mean, there's a miss over there, but
it's just traded.
Yeah, it's instinctively there, but it's just way too late in the map.
Yeah, these misses coming out left, right, and center for Willow. Not a great start to this match, as Gamtor Games will take the lead. No breakpoint though, as it is Willow's pick again to try and get back into the more comfortable Rice picks that she dominated on.
It's been a while since I've seen a 98% but still below 900k. It's been a while since I saw that kind of score.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like 7 key S ranks under 700k. Just, you gotta love them. But yeah, the 200 count, the 300 count favoring Willow, but again, no matter how consistent you are with low BPM stuff, the LN's really giving her a tough time.
Getting to more Rice action going, which understandably Willow's picked, which is also one of the two remaining. Well, I guess yeah, one of the two remaining that is picks that I think they should be, or three, I guess, because Rice one wasn't protected initially, or I guess wasn't banned initially. So
Yeah, but this is, again, a bit of a more simple chart, but it's still quite difficult as the end kind of picks up in more of those graces and those streams. But yeah, Willow kind of just going back into the realm of where she really shines the best in these low kind of BPM like graces and bursts. But this has been potential. We saw in another match, the Not Nick and what was the other player? I keep getting Anthony Edwards and Not Nick. They also traded back and forth, and an early miss from Willow. As I was saying, a chance for a lot of errors to be made as the lead goes to Gamtor Games.
even like with slight mishap from Willow, I think they should have enough of a chance to catch up in accuracy, because we do show that in a couple of picks that ratio difference is enough, I think, to claw their way back in.
Yes, certainly. As we see a miss from Gamtor Games, and kind of confirming that as they have similar accuracy, but yeah, Willow's stabilizing here, holding her combo, holding the high up, but another miss from Willow, turning it back to Gamtor Games. I say she's stabilized, and then immediate miss, another one.
There's another misread on the one. I guess the column 2. I saw the column 4 and column 2 miss right there. It's just pretty much the transition into the patterns itself that are making them have so much trouble.
Yeah, we enter into the second half here as well, and it just doesn't let up. Immediate just streams and jacks, and it doesn't let go here as we just enter into this final break section, and then it goes into full streams. Really not looking good for Willow on the back foot, but it is still recoverable if Gamtor Games does mess up again, like we have seen.
Gamtor's accuracy kind of declined a little bit. It's now eating pretty early so far, it seems.
Yeah, it's clawing back a bit, but unless we see a massive miss from Gamtor Games, it appears there won't be enough time.
Oh, there you go. There goes another miss from Willow there.
Maybe it's the tournament nerves, maybe it's, the little bit of unwarmness, but despite the result, that is a disaster pick for Willow, as that was what was going to try and tie up the board, and Gamtor Games gets a break point with a relatively respective score, considering that this was Willow's pick.
Yeah, that's a break point for Gamtor Games, seems like, and what a way to do it now, even for Rice 3, which I would assume that they will still have 2 more Rice picks, but they have to win on Gamtor's pick even to even claw it back in. Like this kind of ratio difference is really just pretty much telling that Willow's gonna get the ratio no matter what. It's just the miscount. It's just pretty much what it says on the tin.
Definitely. Even if Willow does win the remaining 2 picks, she's going to have to win one of the hybrids or the LNs. And as we saw before, the score difference is a lot bigger when it comes to versing on the LNs rather than the Rice, as Gamtor holds comfortably like 35,000, 45,000. So really is not looking good. And yeah, another LN pick to try and get match point Assault Taxi by Anathrax.
Yeah, Assault Taxi is going to be back. I'm fairly at least 95% confident that this would still pretty much go to the Gamtor Games, even though with the we can see that it's just pretty much leaning on density so much more than just conflict, because it has more semi-inverse pattern than rather than just a straight up Jackie wildcard-esque of a pattern.
Definitely, as you said, while the releases aren't that bad, it is kind of just jump stream LN. So really depending on if Willow is feeling confident on a bit more of a density pick. Maybe if they don't get too late, if they, try to keep up, it could go to Willow, But it's not looking good as Gamtor Games trying to just nail in the coffin with a match point score.
We'll see how this goes, how the patterns will fare well for both of these players, because even for an intro like this, it's just kind of a gauge to see how well they can actually perform. And even though both of these players are just kind of missing on the intro, which I'm not too sure anymore now that given that moved 200s here.
As that 95% confidence going for you, as a bit of a shaky start for Gamtor Games, a lower AC as well. This could be, as both players missed at the same time, trading it out, but it is going down really quick and just too many misses from Willow.
Oh yeah, well there he goes. Willow
There
kind of
goes.
lost there.
Yeah, maybe it's just the LNs in general, just not her comfortable pick. And despite the shaky start from Gamtor Games, they're just holding onto the combo, and that's really all they need to do.
It's just really the density that Willow is really hitting. I understand that Allens are supposed to be really, you kind of play it very differently than just Rice Pigs in general. But even then, you still have to hit them as you would normally with like a jump stream, and it kind of just overholding it in some sort. And I think Willow's hit air is kind of telling for that.
Yeah, definitely. It could also be a reading issue because ratio is still quite strong, but yeah, it's just too many misses, and just it's gonna be a match point for Gamtor Games. Your 95% confidence, yep. Very well placed.
It's pretty much, yeah. Like if you can't just read LNs in general, or I guess reading dense LN patterning in general, you kind of just don't ever just probably overholding a lot of ease. And I think that's what happens in this case for Willow.
Yeah, definitely. Despite only being 5 seedings apart, the LN expression of skill is a lot more solid than Gamtor Games. Probably still with a less 300, so Willow can still say that, you know, they do better on the general accuracy. But yeah, too many misses, too many greats, releasing a bit too late. As despite the early shaky start for Gamtor Games and a couple of misses, they FC the rest of the map with a respectable 98.89.
I'm more actually kind of worried about Hybrid 2, or yeah, Hybrid 2 now, because it actually involves a lot of the LNs as well in that. Which I think that's the only pick that Gamtor had in mind right now, because there are no LNs left.
Yeah, definitely. So we are now remaining to the 2 hybrids, and even hybrid 1 is still quite dense as well, so we could see a repeat of Assault Taxi. While Willow could get a point here with the remaining Rice Picks, as we see with No Wise, the first time I think, from what I've commentated, this gets picked. Yeah, it is looking a bit dire for Willow, because even if she wins this, Gamtor is just gonna pick the hybrid and most likely win, but we will see.
I actually never, when I saw like the showcase, I never really paid attention to what this chart looks like. I think it might be leaning a little bit more of a technical side of things rather than just straight up continuous patterns, but it kind of plays into the physicality more than just really how speedier in general, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Quite a bit of breaks, but the burst as well, kind of just demanding a lot of physicality, but not too much stamina reading. This is kind of how Felix played charts. But as we just get started into it, already showing the accuracy 300 count dominance Willow is known for putting on, as getting a comfortable lead at the start.
Well, comfortable lead, but once until we get to a little bit more of a denser patterns like the burst like this, it's kind of just you're kind of just treading on ice at this point.
Oh yeah, and I think that was a 100 from Willow, evening out almost the exact same accuracy as 80 points separated at the break. Really close score here. Whoever just chokes first or gets a little too many 300s, that will be the start of the end for either of these players for this chart.
Oh, that's a miss. That's a column log on the column 4 for Willow.
That is really not good. Approaching halfway, and Gamtor Games again just needs to hold on to this consistency of the combo.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
physicality just doesn't really hit the mark for the burst here, and Willow just struggling so much on that burst.
Maybe it's tournament nerves, maybe it's just, the physicality, but the consistency of Gamtor games is really shining right here as holding on, despite having a bit lower act than what you'd normally like, just the misses from Willow's end because of probably like the patterning, really kind of just solidifying this lead in. I don't want to call anything as we just see another miss there and leading back into it as some points are being snatching. Could there be enough time if Gamtor Games does miss again? There's not much left of this chart, but we're down to 12,000.
Some of these mini jacks, I feel like it could be a little bit of a trolling thing, but I feel like probably just running out of time here. I don't think that Gamtor Games actually kind of is closing a little bit, I think.
I just don't think it's enough, and it's not enough. That is a GG to Gamtor Games and Willow as a 5-1 score knocks Willow down to the losers bracket, and Gamtor Games continues to the winners bracket. GG's well played to both of these players.
Yeah, very good effort there for even for this kind of Group B matchup there. I feel like Willow is taking a very good one in the showing in the accuracy or ratio proficiency on even on the most straightforward picks of the pool, and it kind of just clearly shows that even with all the picks that have been shown, Willow's still winning on ratio pretty much, outside of maybe Assault Taxi, which are just the LN density pick that are understandably has more reading issues than not really.
Definitely a really strong showing from Gamtor Games, but still showing that they're a little bit more weak when it comes to just the ratio. So if a more strong ratio opponent that has that consistency that Willow may have lacked this weekend, Gamtor Games could be in big trouble. But as he continues into the winners bracket, he must be feeling very good about himself for this very good showing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think with that we still again, like we said at the very start, we got a little bit of a couple of streak of matches going forward here, and then I think within the next 26 or 27 minutes going to be Crimson Knight versus Game Fiery, which is also one of the matchups that I kind of expected to see a little bit to be looking forward to, especially.
Definitely. The Crimson Gaming Fire YouTube match will be streamed. Alamo and Spicy Meme will be played at the same time, but unfortunately it will not be streamed as we only have one Twitch account. But yeah, it's going to be a packed night as we continue on with a bunch of bangers. What I'm really going to be looking forward to is Ruka versus Damoyos. That is going to be an interesting match as Ruka's been, a very, very well-established player in the Australian scene, known worldwide. So really looking forward to that. And another match, Nexility and Cancel is going to be absolute banger. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back in around 25 minutes. I've been staynoidedd, and that's been Mipha, and we'll see you soon.
Stay tuned. Take care.
Bye-bye.